Hey guys, imagine you wrote a Python program last night at 2 a.m. and today you have no clue what you were thinking back then. That's when comments come to the rescue. Let's learn how to make your code talk literally using comments in Python. Comments are basically a secret tool that helps your future self understand your code. So basically, these comments are lines in your code that Python ignores when it runs your program. These comments are meant for us, not the computer, like notes, explanations, and reminders. We can represent comments in two ways. The first one is single line comment, and the second one is multi line comment. Let's see what exactly these are one by one. As the name suggests, the single line comment, this is used when you want to write a comment in your single line. For that, we use this hash symbol. As given, this is the example. This is a single line comment. For every line we are using the hash before. That means the Python understands it is a comment and it ignores when it runs your program. Let's execute and check. Here you can observe the hello world is being printed and these comments got ignored. Now let's just understand about the multi-line comment. Basically, Python doesn't have a dedicated multi-line comment syntax, but we use the triple quotes to write the longer explanation or documentation. So let's understand this multi-line comment with an example. Here for this small code, I just want to write a note saying this program prints hello world using the triple line comment. Let's check whether it gets printed or just the hello world gets printed. Now let's run the program to check what output it gives out. Here you can observe that it only printed hello world and these three lines got ignored. This is because we are using the multi-line comment. So basically these comments are very much useful for making a note of what this code does. Here the fun fact is triple quotes are also used for doc strings which are not just ignored, they become part of your functions documentation and these are accessible via dot underscore underscore doc underscore underscore. Let me write that. So as we are mentioning doc strings, let's understand what are they. When you define a function, you can describe what it does using a doc string. So let's just understand what it is using a code. Okay, so let's understand the doc string using this example. Just don't get into the detail of this code. These are functions which we'll learn in the later classes. Here I am using the multi-line comment. So as we know, the Python ignores this line and it will not be printed. But here we are using dot underscore underscore doc underscore underscore, which lets this line prints. Let's check the output of this code. See, here you are getting this function greets the user, but this is a comment. Why it got accessible? Because we are using the dot underscore underscore doc underscore underscore. By this way, the doc strings get accessible. These are called as doc strings, which are used for the documentation purpose and can understand how the code works or what the code does. So now let's understand why comments matter. There are several reasons why comments are very much important to be written in our code. Let's see what are the exact reasons one by one. The first one is because of its communication. Code is read more often than it is written. Good comments make your code readable for others and also for your future self. When you look back into your code after a long while, you should understand the code. That matters the most. For that, the comments come as a rescue. They make you understand what you have written by writing the comments on each code that you have written. The second most important point is debugging. Basically, temporarily disable code by commenting it out. We use the hash symbol for debugging. For example, in this code, you don't want this line to get executed. You just comment it out such that the Python ignores that line and we can easily debug our code. Instead of removing the entire line, you can add a hash symbol that becomes a comment and that gets ignored by Python to execute it. So it is very much useful in debugging the code. The next most important point is documentation. In professional projects, comments acts as a living documents. Not only for you, when you share your code with others, the people can easily understand your code when you write a comments. So they don't come back to you and ask you what this line meant. By looking at the comment, they can easily understand what the code does. These are the major reasons why comment matters the most in your code. Okay, now just look into a top interview questions that are asked on this topic. The first most frequently asked question is, what is the purpose of comments in Python? The answer for this question is, comments help explain the logic of the code. They are ignored by the Python interpreter and improve the readability. They are also useful for yourself, future self, and others when they are looking into your documentation. Now let's get into the second question. How do you write the multi-line comments in Python? The answer for this question is by enclosing the text within the triple quotes, although these are technically docstrings, not true multi-line comments. So we use the triple quotes to write the multi-line comments in Python. Okay, now let's get into the third question. What is the difference between a comment and a docstring? The answer for this question is a comment is ignored completely by the interpreter while a docstring is stored as a part of the object and can be accessed at runtime using dot underscore underscore doc underscore underscore. As I have explained previously, the docstring can be easily accessible where the comments are completely ignored by the Python interpreter. Now let's get into the fourth question. How can you access a function's docstring in Python? Well, we have already discussed we use dot underscore underscore doc underscore underscore to access a function's docstring in Python. Now let's get into the last question, that is, why are comments important for team project? Answer for this question is they make collaboration easier by allowing other developers and the future you to understand the code quickly without guessing its purpose. So these are the top interview questions that are asked on this topic. I hope you understood it. Quickly take a snapshot of it. And that's it, guys. Now you know how to make your code actually talk using comments. Remember, clean code isn't just about logic, it's about communication. If this video helped you out, don't forget to hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe for more bit sized Python lessons. See you in the next one. Bye bye.